I'm 84 years old, and I want you to look at me. Really look at me. You see an old man. What you don't see is the 40 years I burned, not on drugs, not on gambling, on something far more acceptable, far more deadly: anger. I wasted 40 years of my life being angry, and here's what nobody tells you about anger. It doesn't feel like waste while you're in it. It feels like fuel. It feels like justice. It feels like the only thing keeping you alive. I was wrong. And if you're watching this because something about the title caught you, if there's a knot in your chest right now, a tightness in your jaw, then you already know what I'm talking about. You're me at 44, and I'm here to tell you, stop. Stop before you wake up one day and realize you've traded your entire life for a feeling that was never even real. Let me take you back. I'm 23 years old, lazy, aimless, the kind of young man who thought the world owed him something just for showing up. I lived with my mother in a small apartment that smelled like her cooking and her patience. She worked 2 jobs. I worked 0. I had excuses. I had plans. I had tomorrow. And then one Tuesday in March 1964, my mother collapsed at the textile factory. Stroke. By the time they called me, by the time I got to the hospital, I can still see that fluorescent hallway. I can still smell the disinfectant. She was already slipping away. The doctor asked me about insurance. I didn't have an answer. He asked me about treatment options. I didn't have money. I just stood there, 23 years old, and I watched my mother die because I couldn't afford to save her. She was 51. I remember sitting in that hospital room after she was gone. The machines had been turned off. It was quiet. And in that quiet, something inside me snapped. Not sadness, not grief. Those would have been human. What I felt was rage. Rage at myself, at the world, at every person who ever had more than me, at the system, at God, at the doctors who looked at me with pity, at the bill they handed me on my way out, $3,200 for a death I couldn't prevent. And I made a promise right there. I would never be helpless again. I would work so hard that money would never be the reason I lost someone. I would show everyone, that they were wrong about me. That promise saved my life, and it destroyed it. Within a year, I had 2 jobs. Within 2 years, I had my own business, construction, renovation, anything that paid. I worked 16-hour days. I worked weekends. I worked through holidays, and it worked. The money came. Not millions, but enough. Enough for a house, enough for a car, enough to get married to Sarah, a woman who saw something in me I couldn't see in myself anymore. We had 2 kids, Michael and Jennifer, and I kept working. Because now it wasn't just about proving something, it was about providing. It was about making sure they never went through what I went through. But here's the trap. Here's the lie I believed for 40 years. I thought I was working for them, but I was working instead of them. Every missed dinner was me building their future. Every skipped birthday was me securing their education. Every time Sarah asked me to just sit with her, to just talk, to just be present, I had a reason why I couldn't. I had work, I had deadlines, I had obligations. But really, I was still in that hospital room, still watching my mother die, still feeling that helplessness. And I confused motion with healing. I confused exhaustion with purpose. The anger never left. It just changed costumes. Now it wore a suit and called itself ambition. It drove a truck and called itself responsibility. It snapped at my kids and called itself discipline. You know what anger does when you feed it for 40 years? It doesn't get full, it gets hungrier. It becomes the only thing you know how to feel. Happiness feels weak. Rest feels dangerous. Love feels like a luxury you can't afford. I'm not telling you this for sympathy. I'm telling you because I see you. I see you in the comments of these videos, talking about your grind, your hustle, your revenge era. I see you wearing your exhaustion like a badge of honor. And I'm begging you, look closer. Ask yourself what you're really running from. Michael was 7 when he asked me to teach him how to ride a bike. I said, this weekend. That weekend came and went. Then the next. Then another. I said, this weekend for an entire year. By the time I actually had time, he'd already learned from the neighbor. He was 14. 7 years had passed. He didn't ask me for anything anymore. Jennifer did ballet. Every recital, Sarah would save me a seat. Every recital, that seat stayed empty. I can tell you the exact amount of money I made during those evenings. I can tell you which jobs I was finishing. I cannot tell you what my daughter looked like on stage. I don't have the memory, because I wasn't there to make it. My son got into college, University of Washington, full scholarship. He was 18 years old. I was proud. I told everyone. But when he left for school, he hugged his mother for 5 minutes. He shook my hand. That's when I realized I'd raised a stranger. This brilliant young man who had my DNA and none of my time. We were polite, distant, like co-workers at a company neither of us wanted to work for. Sarah used to leave notes in my lunch, little things, jokes, encouragements. I love you. Come home early if you can. After 10 years of marriage, the notes stopped. After 20 years, the conversation stopped. After 30 years together, we were roommates who used to be something else. She died 3 years ago, 81 years old, cancer. And I had time then, all the time in the world. I sat by her bed for 6 weeks. I held her hand. I told her everything I should have said decades ago. And you know what she said to me 2 days before the end. I know you loved me. I just wish you'd liked me enough to stay. That sentence, those 13 words, they haunt me more than anything else in my 84 years. Because she was right. I loved her, but I didn't choose her. Not really. Not when it mattered. So here's what I need you to understand. Not tomorrow. Right now. That thing you're angry about, that person who wronged you, that opportunity you missed, that trauma you're trying to outrun, it's not worth 40 years. It's not worth 40 days. It's not worth one more dinner you miss, one more bedtime story you skip, one more moment you trade for a feeling that's killing you from the inside out. You think anger makes you strong? It doesn't. It makes you alone. You think working yourself to death proves something? It doesn't prove anything except that you're too afraid to stop moving, too afraid of what you'll feel if you're silent for 5 minutes. I'm 84 years old. I have money in the bank. I have a house that's too big. I have a business that runs without me. And I would trade every single dollar, every single brick, every single success for one more afternoon with my kids when they were young, for one more note in my lunchbox, for one more chance to not be so consumed by my own pain that I forgot to live. Stop trying to prove you're not weak. You're not weak. You're human. And humans aren't supposed to carry rage like a backpack for 40 years. We're supposed to set it down. We're supposed to feel it, learn from it, and let it go. I know some of you are thinking, But you don't understand what happened to me. You don't understand what I've been through. You're right, I don't. But I do understand this. Whatever you're holding on to, it's holding on to you harder. Because here's the truth I learned too late. Nobody remembers how hard you worked. They remember whether you were there. My son lives in Seattle now. We talk every few weeks. It's polite. He's polite. I'm polite. We're two men who share a last name and not much else. My daughter visits on holidays. She brings her kids, my grandchildren, and they call me Grandpa, like it's a title, not a relationship. And I sit in this house, in this silence, and I think about all the years I was too angry to notice I was loved, too busy to see I already had everything. So let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer honestly, even if it's just to yourself. If you keep going the way you're going, if you keep carrying what you're carrying, if you keep prioritizing what you're prioritizing, will the people you love remember you as someone who was there, or someone who was always about to be? Would you be satisfied with the life you're building, not the highlight reel, the real thing, the daily thing, the moments between the achievements? Because I'm 84, and I ran out of time to figure it out. But you still have time. Please, don't waste it being angry. If this hit you somewhere deep, do me a favor, leave a comment. Tell me what you're holding on to, or tell me what you're finally ready to let go of. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you love. And if you want more of these conversations, the real ones, the hard ones, subscribe, because we're not done talking yet. Thank you for listening.